While the tragic echo from the sacred forest still lingered, Kunti, widow and mother, embarked on the bitter journey back to Hastinapura, bearing with her the 5 young Pandavas, jewels of an interrupted lineage. Upon their arrival, a murmur of reverence and hope rippled through the city. The people recognized in those children not only the sons of the lamented Pandu, but the rightful heirs to the throne, predestined by blood and by a virtue that was already beginning to radiate. Under the protective mantle of the venerable Bhishma, the Iron Patriarch, the Pandavas grew up alongside their cousins, the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, the Kauravas, led by the impetuous and somber Duryodhana. It was in this crucible of shared childhoods where, like noxious weeds in fertile ground, the first tensions took root, fed by the dull fear of some and the corrosive envy of others. The Pandavas flourished, each with a singular gift. Yudhishthira, the firstborn, was a beacon of justice, wisdom, and serene piety, qualities that earned him the admiration of sages and elders, who saw in him the promise of a just king. Bhima, of Herculean build and titanic strength, soon distinguished himself with his overwhelming impetus and an almost fierce protective instinct towards his brothers. Arjuna, agile as the wind and brave as a lion, revealed from a young age a prodigious skill with the bow, his arrows finding their mark with astonishing precision. And the twins, Nakula and Sahadeva, of serene beauty and observant spirit, wove bonds of affection with their innate nobility and discretion. But as the Pandavas' light grew, a dark storm brewed in Duryodhana's soul. Every praise for Yudhishthira, every feat of Bhima, every ovation for Arjuna's marksmanship, was a thorn in his pride. The idea that Yudhishthira, the virtuous, was hailed as the future king, gnawed at him from within. He, the eldest son of the regent monarch, Dhritarashtra, felt the throne belonged to him by inalienable right. In the shadows, his maternal uncle, the cunning and Machiavellian Shakuni, whispered venom in his ear, fanning the flames of his resentment and hatching the first conspiracies to tarnish the Pandavas' honor and secure his own ascent. The abyss of betrayal, a festival on the banks of the sacred Ganges, under a mask of false camaraderie, he invited Bhima to a private feast. There, with a stealthy hand, he mixed a potent narcotic into his food. Once Bhima succumbed to a deep slumber, Duryodhana, consumed by his hatred, bound him with heavy iron chains and cast him into the turbulent depths of the river. But Bhima's fate, son of Vayu, the wind god, was not sealed. On the riverbed, he was discovered by the Nagas, the divine serpents. Recognizing his celestial lineage, they freed him and led him to the subterranean kingdom of Vasuki, their king. There, Bhima drank a sacred nectar that not only healed him but multiplied his strength, granting him the power of 10,000 elephants. When he emerged from the waters, transformed and more formidable than ever, Bhima remained silent about his miraculous ordeal. But deep within his heart, he forged a silent oath, to protect his brothers from any treachery, with his life if first attempt on Bhima's life. Duryodhana's envy soon overflowed into an act of calculated cruelty. During necessary. Alarmed by the growing rifts between the princes, the wise Bhishma summoned Kripakarya, the royal preceptor, a renowned warrior and scholar in the arts of Dharma, to begin the martial and spiritual education of all the youths. For years, Pandavas and Kauravas trained together, side by side, studying the art of war, the intricacies of politics, the depths of philosophy, and the sanctity of the scriptures. Yet, even under Kripa's tutelage, rivalry was a subterranean fire. Notably, a competition began to flare between the brilliant Arjuna and the enigmatic Karna, a young warrior of unknown origin, whose martial prowess rivaled that of the Pandava himself, already heralding the clash of titans that would mark their generation. The tapestry of Hastinapura's destiny was being woven with threads of unbridled ambition, unshakable virtue, and an implacable fate biding its time. Moral and final lesson: this chapter of the Mahabharata reveals a timeless truth. Virtue, like a radiant sun, can blind and awaken the darkest envy in those hearts where ambition has taken poisonous root. It also teaches us how unresolved rivalries, wounds inflicted in the innocence of childhood, can fester and unleash devastating storms in adulthood. True greatness, the epic whispers, resides not in inherited power or lineage, but in the unshakable nobility of actions and the indomitable strength of spirit. Destiny, patient, watches. The curtain has barely risen on this saga of gods and mortals. Do you dare to follow the thread of destiny? Subscribe and witness how a legend is forged.